It's time for the Burning River Sportscast. Browns 8, 49ers 26. The Browns stay inventing new ways to win or lose. Sorry, they never win. New ways to lose every single week. Red Hot Ronnie Jams, how the hell are you?
I've been better. It's always a bad Sunday when the Browns play. I just don't understand why I watch them anymore. But here I am, not just watching them, but also creating just endless content to go along with them. So it's always good stuff. But listen, you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. I'm talking Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Podcast Castro, Good Pods, where we are our number one ranked football podcast, and so many more. While you're at it, please leave us a review on your preferred podcast app of choice. That's redundant, but that's fine. It really helps us grow, get seen. Hippie, go listen to us on a podcast app. Make sure you download all the episodes that you can, and you leave us a review on every single podcast directory that you listen on. And that goes for everybody else that's out here listening as well. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, the only place that you can find our video podcast. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Our handle for all those socials at Burning River Sportscast. We're on X as well at the handle at Burning River Pod. While you're at it, check out our merch, www.thetabmedia.com/shop. All kinds of stuff in there. We do have Shedeur stuff coming. It's supposed to be in there last week. You know how it goes.
There's some stuff out there.
Yeah. Before we get started, quick shout out to our sponsors, Towpath Distillery. Towpath Distillery, an award-winning craft distillery located in Akron, Ohio. Towpath Distillery focuses on high-quality spirits carefully made in small batches. Towpath Distillery, handcrafted, award-winning, small batch, local, and family-owned.
The smallest batches.
And Prime Time Sports and Framing with locations in Hartville, Streetsboro, Belton Village, Great Northern, and Kent. They're easily accessible wherever you are in Northeast Ohio. With the best selection in autographed collectibles and world-class framing operation, they are your go-to for officially licensed memorabilia. Primetime Sports and Framing.
You name it, they frame it.
And they provided everything that we've given away so far this season, so we really appreciate them. But today on the show this week, you look forward to, we got a recap of today's Week 13 loss against the 49ers, a closer look at the offense, defense, and that god-awful special teams. Our nominees for Dog of the Week, Shedeur Sanders' second game as Cleveland starter, first against a solid team and first at home. Some more Sanders versus Gabriel talk. Just more so along the lines of, was there growth with Shedeur Sanders and where we stand with this whole who should play, who should finish the season, those types of things. And then what we think is going to happen as the season progresses, and I'm sure there's probably going to be more in there. We're probably going to go off the rails at some point. But let's get things started by reminding everybody to call the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline.
Hot Take Hotline. Call
and leave your hot takes on the Hot Take Hotline. We got any yet?
If you haven't called yet, you're missing out.
If you haven't called yet, you should be calling now.
You should be calling.
Yeah, 330-227-8081.
330-227-8081.
330-227-8081. Call now. We'll get your message and we'll put it on the air and we'll talk about it on Thursday. It'll be good times.
Yeah, good times.
So let's go ahead and jump into it. The Week 13 recap. And let's start with the elephant in the room. The special teams units are complete ass.
They were really good today.
No, they weren't. This might legitimately be like the worst special teams play of all time. I've never seen so many complete breakdowns of a special team, not just one special teams unit, all the special teams units in so short a time period. Like over the last several weeks of the season, they've lost us at least 3 games.
They certainly lost this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about it. There was the muff punt. They gave up the big return.
I wouldn't even call it a muffed punt. I would say it was more like, a bump in volleyball. Like he just bumped it to the other team.
It was the passed punt. He passed it to them. We gave up the big return. And then Malachi Corley fielding the ball at the 5-yard line that led to just a series of gaffes and just terrible, terrible moments for them that resulted in another touchdown after a 29-yard punt.
The first one.
So I guess add that. That's a fourth one. 29-yard punt.
So Sky Moore had 69 yards returning punts today. 66 of those came on one return. And that one hurt because that was the one that kind of put you behind the 8 ball from the start. Obviously, it goes without saying, like, this was a bad weather game. So that was going to make things difficult. And playing from behind early was um, not a positive for this Browns team to have to try to put the ball in the air. So it hurts to start with spotting them 7, and then
Seven.
you have the the muffed punt, the lateral punt. So now you spotted them 14 there because you gave them the ball in good field position, and then obviously the fielding the kick that, I mean, that ball was going to go out of bounds. I mean, that should have been advantage Browns. That should have been
Nope.
a kick interference or whatever they call it.
Listen, if we've got a good situation, we can find a way to make it bad. We can do it.
They definitely did. So I think if you looked at the starting, they put the starting field position on the screen. There was a graphic somewhere near the beginning of the fourth quarter, and the
They
average starting
basically
field position for the 49ers was around the 41 or the 42-yard line, and for the Browns was around the 21 or the 22-yard line. So
so we're basically starting at the 20, and they're basically starting at midfield every time.
yeah, so just put yourself behind the 8 ball there, basically on every possession. So on all the possessions that mattered. So yeah, really bad. I mean, this is not the first time that we've had issues with special teams all year long. To your point, it's cost us a couple of games, bad special teams play. How Bubba Ventrone is still cashing a paycheck.
Employed? Yeah, that's actually my very next bullet point. Fire Bubba Ventrone immediately.
They won't, though, because this isn't a serious football team and it's not a serious organization, and they're not going. There's no accountability here, and and to be fair, like Andrew Berry owns some culpability here as well for not having. I mean, look, we've talked about Schmidt early in the year. I mean, he's done better, following a rough start, but he owns culpability here because he didn't do anything to address these positions in the offseason. I don't know why consistently year after year we're the only football team that can't fair catch a punt.
We're the worst at it. We just don't even address it. We're like, yeah, the special teams were pretty bad last year. Okay. Like it's not even like we're thinking about addressing. We're just like, we
just keep it rolling.
Just keep doing what we're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Gotta work and it's kind of the same thing. We've talked about this a lot. It's basically the same thing on offense. I mean, they just keep focusing on the defense year after year in the draft. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's paid off. Defense is fucking phenomenal.
Are we going to the offense now?
Yeah, but no, we're not going there. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we're there. What else can you talk about with the special teams? They're so bad.
Yeah,
they literally really spotted them 21 points.
And I mean, the thing is, like, those are like the fielding the punt at the 5-yard line, like, or the kick, like those are coaching points, right? Like that's, you got to know to let that ball go, or you got to know it. Hey, first off, don't field it that deep, like, or have your foot on the sideline, right? I mean, you got to be halfway in, halfway out, so that you get the kick interference. So it's just mental errors, mental gaffes over and over and over again.
It's just amazing seeing, like, you'll see the replays of, I know the Chiefs do it every once in a while, where they'll have the guy lay down and put his feet out of bounds and touch the ball.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look, a penalty.
Yeah. Right.
Meanwhile, you got the Browns doing this shit.
Yeah. We just catch it at the 5.
We just play a completely different game. We're like, we don't know how to do this.
On our way out of bounds, let's catch the ball.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, and speaking of that, they spotted him 21 points. So let's go ahead and go to the offense, because that was so much better. Not. Listen, Stefanski's scheme is the all-time worst scheme I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's, I don't even know what we're doing half the time. And I'm going to start with the worst one of the day. Which, before I even get there, I want to say, I know Tommy Rees is calling the plays now. I get it. I understand it's Tommy Rees now.
Still Stefanski's playbook.
It's still Stefanski's offense. It's still his scheme. It's still terrible. 4th and 1 on our own 20. Let's put everyone under center except for our starting quarterback.
Yeah, the guy that never gets the ball in a snap. Yeah.
Technically the backup tight end, Harold Fannin, is who's getting the snap, the direct, not a shotgun snap where he's got a chance to react to it. No. We're just gonna give him a direct, like, under center snap and have him try and basically QB sneak it.
Let's rewind this for a second, because even before that, what bothered me about that play was you were bringing in some kind of jumbo package, right? They were running extra offensive linemen onto the field. The offensive lineman that was coming in from the sideline was running across the field with 14 seconds left on the play clock, meaning
Yeah,
they
it was
hadn't
Wyatt,
got the
wasn't it? It was
play
Teller.
call. I don't remember who it was,
I think
but
it was Wyatt Teller.
they hadn't got the play call in with 14 seconds left because they were still bringing personnel in. So the whole play from the get was busted because they were running against the clock, and a good coach would have just said, "Hey, this is a cluster. We got to take a timeout here to get this thing right.
Nope.
If we're going to take a high risk, high reward opportunity here to try and convert on 4th and short, we need to make sure it's right."
Nope.
And they couldn't even get that done. So fail on Stefanski, fail on Tommy Rees, fail on
and you can put
the
whatever you
entire
want on
offense.
Tommy Rees, but at that point in time in the game,
Yeah, that's a
when
Stefanski
everything's
call.
jumbled, that's the head coach's
Right.
job.
He's
supposed to look at it and
he's
say,
the one that can call the
everybody
timeout,
is way
right?
out of it right now.
Yeah.
We're out of sorts. We don't understand what's going on. We need to call a timeout and regroup. And at that point, you probably just punt, honestly.
Or take the timeout and get the play called right and get the right personnel group in and get everybody set.
Well, and I'll say this: I don't have a problem with the sneak. I don't, to me, but you use your starting quarterback. You just go under center. The Eagles have the tush push. And I talk about this all the time. Everybody wants to ban the tush push, and I'm like, we can't ban the tush push just because they got really good at it. Meanwhile, we got the Browns who don't even know how to run a QB sneak. We put a tight end under there, and we're like, will this work? Do you think this is good? And then we wonder two things. We wonder, we're so surprised that he couldn't handle the snap. No way. He dropped it.
Immediately put it on the ground.
And then on top of that, you got Kevin Stefanski, one that didn't call the timeout on the sideline, and then two has the nerve to sit on the sideline and just shake his head like, I can't believe we didn't get that. No shit.
Yeah. It's just not. I mean, it was 4th and inches. It's not if you're gonna have the brass tacks to go for it, man up and go for it. Put your quarterback behind the center and get your big boys mauling and go.
This was just one more of those. You got to pick up
1 foot.
This is just one more of those times, though, that Kevin Stefanski thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He's like, nobody's going to see this shit coming. And even if it's not him, even if it's Tommy Rees, at this point, that's a problem. Now I don't want Tommy Rees anywhere near this ball club ever again, because the Stefanski mentality has bled into Tommy Rees.
Yeah. Oh, we saw that because there were plenty of reverses in today's game.
Oh yeah, that was my next point. The return of the reverse, and let's talk about that for a second, right? Because how much did those reverses go for, Kenny?
I mean, I think they each went for 8 or 9 yards, so they were positive plays.
Positive plays, but they were literally the highest level difficulty plays that we could run. We said, let's run it as far behind the line of scrimmage, so your risk reward here, you could lose 25 or you could gain 9. Apparently,
yeah. I don't know. That was a lateral, if I recall correctly, the first one, the reverse. So
you could fumble it, you could lose 10, 15, 20, 25 yards, or you can get 9 yards. Almost a first down. That's pretty good.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's the Kevin Stefanski offense, right? So, but look, this team just week in and week out. I mean, this is exactly what they do. This is what we see.
It went from. Well, we won't get there yet. Let's. Do you want to? Should we talk about Shedeur a little bit?
Well, I do think, just to round this out, it was the tale of two halves to an extent, because the first half was done pretty well. There was a good mix of run and pass, and they were moving the ball. They just couldn't finish drives, which isn't new for this football team. You have a rookie quarterback, bad weather, all these types of things. Okay, understandable. And frankly, it should have been 8-7 going into halftime. You give them the ball back with, 39 seconds or something at the end of the half, and a couple of defensive breakdowns there that led to the kick that really he almost missed. So it is what it is. You go to halftime 10-8, and then it just seemed like in the second half seemed like we were trying to play some kind of ball control game. I mean, frankly, we didn't have a lot of possessions because we turned the ball over, I think, 3 times in the second half. So or at least went 3 and out and had a couple turnovers. So you just didn't have a lot of possessions to go around. But they just did nothing in that second half. It's just really bad offense.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. And it was, I mean, you said it. Basically, we came back from the half, and it went from being a really fun game to just being pissed off that we're watching the Browns again before the third quarter was even over.
And I may have this wrong, So I guess don't kill me if it was wrong, if I'm wrong. But San Francisco returned the opening kickoff. So I assumed that San Francisco won the toss. I'm not sure why the Browns didn't pick to defend going with the wind in the fourth quarter.
I I mean, it's a good question. You said that, and I didn't get a chance to really look it up and see. You had texted me that, and I didn't get a chance to look it up and really check the accuracy on that. If that's the case, though, I mean, it's just another notch in the Stefanski
Yeah,
sucks
again, I'm
ass.
not certain. I thought I recalled San Francisco winning the toss, so it just seemed odd that
They
they were
definitely did.
playing.
I know that for sure. They won the toss, and they elected to receive.
It seemed odd then that we didn't choose to go with the wind in the fourth quarter, thinking, hey, if we're down in this game and have to throw the ball, we'd rather do it with the wind than into the wind.
You think we want to win?
Well, no, I guess that's probably the bigger problem.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It was awful in the second half, and it amazes me. I've been a Browns fan for this long, and it still amazes me how quickly it goes from like, yeah, this is fun. I'm having a good time watching this game to I hate the Browns. Like week after week, that's what happens.
Turns on a dime, man.
And I'm just I'm sick of it. But you know what can you do? I don't. I'm a Browns fan forever, and it's gonna be like this for a long time. Um, but yeah, Shedeur Sanders. Let's talk about him because obviously that's the big. Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. So, I mean, how did you think he did today?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm curious to hear your thoughts first, to be honest, because I have some thoughts here.
Honestly, I thought that overall he actually had a solid day. I mean, you got to remember we were in a monsoon. It was just a windstorm today. I don't know if monsoon's the right word, maybe just a tornado, but we were it was
It was bad weather.
yeah, it was bad weather. And he was 16 of 25. He was fairly accurate. Um if you're looking at stats, I know there was a couple bad throws in there. I'm not excusing those. There was a couple really bad throws, a couple bad misses. But overall, he was 16 to 25 for 149 yards and a touchdown. He didn't turn the ball over at all. He took 3 sacks, and I texted you during the game. I said he's got to get rid of the ball there. At least 2 of those were on him, I would say. The other one was probably just the offensive line sucks. So, um, but I know at least 2 of them were probably on him holding the ball a little bit longer than he needed to. And the one was in the first half. So I was like, what do you like? It was definitely on him because it wasn't like he was trying to make something happen. It was just like, you need to get rid of the ball and at least throw it away.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think that was the third and long, right?
yeah,
So it was, or was it even was it third and fourth?
it was a third down. We
it was a
punted
third and
after that.
long. Yeah, because and so that one, like, I don't even have a problem with him not necessarily throwing the ball into traffic there. I mean, how many quarterbacks convert third and 15 or third and 16? It's rare
Yeah,
anyway. So taking a sack there doesn't kill you. But agree. I mean, look, those are the things that have to continue to be cleaned up about his game for sure. It's the
yeah,
holding on to the ball.
yeah. So I mean, that was my big takeaway overall. Though I mean, it wasn't going into this game. As soon as I heard it was going to be 30, 40 mile an hour winds all day, I was like, well, there's no evaluation today. Like you can't.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. He actually played better after I heard what the conditions were going to be. He played better than I expected him to play going into it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I don't give him really a plus or a minus on this day as a whole. I give him just I mean, he did what he had to do. I don't think he cost us the game. I think it's very clear the special teams um it was very clearly the special teams that cost us this game. And Kevin Stefanski's and Tommy Reese going for it on that fourth down and just giving him the ball on the 20-yard line. So, I mean, those things combined, that's basically all 26 of their points. Besides that, the defense did their job. They held everybody. Like I said, Shedeur didn't turn the ball over. So I think he did well managing the game in a game where you don't put up stats. You just don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. What did you see today?
So I guess I would start with this because I think I have maybe a little different take. The first thing I would say is there's a lot of box score warriors out in full force on the internet right now. Immediately following the game, everybody was looking at the box score going, see, I told you he sucks. This guy's the worst. I thought he was him. I thought he was the one you were waiting for. He's awful. all these things. There's easier ways to say I'm a dumbass. I don't watch football and I have an IQ of 34. You could just put that in the comments instead, because if you watched this game, I thought Shedeur Sanders played exceptional. Did he make mistakes? Yeah, we talked about those. He's got to get rid of the ball on some of those plays that he held. But at the end of the day, he took 3 sacks. Those 3 sacks didn't win or lose you the game. I've seen games where Miles has 5 by himself. So this was not anywhere close to the worst quarterback or worst sack, issue that I've ever seen with a quarterback. Um, but I would say that I think he played exceptional because I didn't see a lot of bad throws out there today. I thought he ran the offense inside of the offense. He did his job, which is to facilitate and get the ball out. He was relatively accurate, 16 and 25, 149 and the touchdown. The throw to Fannin was exceptional. Um, but I think if you're watching this, if you were looking at this in just the box score and you say, well, geez, that was a shitty performance. Let me look today and see in games in similar weather, which there weren't very many because a lot of teams play in domes, a lot of teams play in warmer weather climates. So there were 2 games that I would point you to outside of the game in Cleveland today, which was the Bills and the Steelers that were in Pittsburgh. So that was probably the most like Cleveland's weather today, right? They're just a couple hours outside of Cleveland. So the swirling winds and the cold. And then the game in New York, the Falcons and Jets. And if you look through just the other quarterbacks that played in similar weather today, Brock Purdy, starting in Cleveland, was 16 to 29, 168 and a touchdown. Pretty much this almost the same stat line as Shedeur. Josh Allen, 15 to 23 for 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Okay, so that's worse. Aaron Rodgers, 10 of 21, 117 yards. If you think Aaron Rodgers sucks, Mason Rudolph did get in the game. He went over 3 with a pick.
Of course he did. He's terrible.
Kirk Cousins was 21 of 33, 234, 1 touchdown. Okay, not bad. And Tyrod Taylor, 19 of 33, 172, and 1 touchdown. So they were out in New York again. Similar weather. Out of all of those guys, only Kirk Cousins had a higher quarterback rating today than Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
And you can say what you want about all those guys, right? A little bit of journeyman, a little bit here and there with Tyrod and these guys. But Josh Allen, probable Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins has a winning record. Tyrod Taylor is the only one out of those quarterbacks that I mentioned that doesn't have a winning record, and he's close. He's close to 500. He's 45 and 52 as a pro. So you can say again what you want about all those other quarterbacks, but I don't see anybody else jumping on Reddit boards and on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter right now saying Josh Allen is the worst. Aaron Rodgers is the worst.
Right.
Those guys have 425 NFL wins between them. So you can miss me with like those guys suck because they don't. So when you compare apples to apples, similar elements, similar environment, it was a game that lent itself to a lot of running, a lot of rushing attempts. The Browns have averaged over the last 32 games 23 rush attempts per game. Today they had 31. San Francisco had 33 rush attempts. The Jets had 28. Falcons had 32. Jesus, the Bills had 51. This was weather that required you to run the ball a lot. It was not an air raid type of day for anyone. None of these quarterbacks fared particularly well in the elements. But somehow, some way, Shedeur Sanders is the only one catching heat. Like, he sucks because he had a so-so day on the box score. So all those things considered, I think he played exceptionally well. Let's also not forget, just along with the elements, Buffalo missed an extra point in our game. That was the guy hit the upright. I mean, this was a bad weather day. This was a tough day for quarterbacks. So given all those things, I think Shedeur played exceptionally well. I think the scheme is terrible. The offensive line is terrible. Those are all things that Dylan Gabriel had to deal with as well. But I other all things considered, I thought he played a really nice, clean football game, took care of the ball. Got to clean up a few things here and there. So
Yeah.
for a rookie quarterback in your second start to come out there and play as well as all those other guys that have 425 combined NFL wins, he looks like he belongs.
Yeah.
And that's all that I can ask for right now. I continue to say, I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. I don't know if he's the GOAT. I don't know that I can't say he's Tom Brady. What I can say is he's the best quarterback on this Browns roster right now. He deserves to start for the rest of the year. And frankly, I don't see a quarterback in this year's draft class that is better today than Shedeur Sanders is. And so I don't see the reason or the logic behind picking one of these guys that we're kind of not sure about going into next year. I think just give Shedeur another year under center, give him the full offseason, and if he's as bad as everyone thinks he is, you're gonna win 3 games and you'll pick top 5 in the draft. You get your quarterback then.
Yeah.
If
Uh,
you don't win 3 games, he's decent. You want some games, so you might have something there.
Yep. Real quick, before I comment on all that, shout out to David Schoonover, Stephen Plummer, and everybody else watching on Facebook. We're having a technical difficulty where, once again, the Facebook comments aren't coming through like they're supposed to. So I'm trying to monitor here. But yes, David, we should have won, and special teams cost us a game. Um, no, so that's what I was laughing at when you first started talking. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Shedeur hate. So I had multiple people come back at me this week on our social media and tell me that there is no Shedeur hate, that this is just a fabricated thing by the media, and that people don't hate Shedeur. They want him to succeed, and da 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 da. And I'm like, yo, if you could see the comments that I see, like I get the comments. I'm the one that gets all the notifications, and I see it happening real time. Like, people hate him for no reason. Right, like today, for example, like you're talking about, there's people I saw on both X and Instagram and Facebook. I saw it on every platform today. The miss to Harold Fannin, I think it was, down towards the end zone towards the end of the game. Is that who he missed? He threw it real short. I can't remember who he was thrown to.
I don't recall the play.
It was he rolled out to the right and he threw it short of somebody down towards the end zone. But anyways, they're putting that on replay and they're saying, I just don't know if this guy has the arm strength to play in Cleveland. Excuse me. If you didn't say that same shit about Dylan Gabriel, you cannot say that about Shedeur Sanders. Because one, earlier in the game, the other big miss that he had was the one to Jerry Jeudy. And at the time, I believe we were going with the wind and it just sailed on him. And 2 things on that play. One, I wanted to ask you, and we'll get to this part in a minute, but there's people that are saying Jerry Jeudy stops running on that play. There's people that are saying that Shedeur Sanders sailed it. Either way, I'm somewhere in the middle. Here's where I'm at with the whole thing is that's a low percentage throw for a reason. It rarely works out. So something went wrong. It doesn't really matter who missed. The timing was off. And you've got to remember, this is the second full week of getting reps with the starters for Shedeur Sanders. So yeah, something was a little bit off. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it was one player's fault or the others more so. I just think it was a missed play. And it happens sometimes. And we can't micro analyze a rookie quarterback and say every single throw, if you didn't make it, you're ass. Like, that's not how it works. Yeah. Dylan Gabriel, me and you and our show judged him because over the course of however many weeks it was, he threw the ball in the dirt over and over again. He threw passes behind the line of scrimmage over guys' heads over and over again. Yeah. Like, the guy was terrible. This is 2 throws in one game where the weather was trash, where you're going to question his arm talent when he's throwing into the wind, rolling out to the right, like 40 yards, and it was a little bit short. You're going to tell me he can't play in Cleveland. He doesn't have the arm strength. And then at the same time, earlier in the game, he overthrows Jerry Jeudy, something downfield, doesn't just overthrow him, overthrows him downfield, something Dylan Gabriel has never been able to do to anybody. And you're going to tell me on one hand, he doesn't have the arm strength, but on the other, he should have made that throw. But I just don't get it. Like, it doesn't jive.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right on the Jerry Jeudy throw. I think it was probably a little bit of both. I think the ball definitely did sail. I do think that Jerry Jeudy was not running full tilt.
I think he thought he
I
was
don't
getting held or something. I
I
think is
don't
what
know that
happened.
he stopped running, but it certainly didn't look like he was pedal down.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too. Let's not act like Jerry Jeudy is Randy Moss. Jerry
He's like,
Jeudy is
by all measurable accounts, he's the worst receiver in the NFL this year.
Jerry Jeudy has had a terrible year. He's
The
dropped
worst number
everything.
one receiver, I should
I
say.
mean, even if it hit Jerry Jeudy in the hands, who's to say you would have caught it? So I don't put a lot of stock in like he missed a wide open guy. How did he who knows? To your point, low percentage play. What I do like about it is he took the shot. The
Yeah.
ball was there. We tried to stretch the field. That was something that we didn't see any of with Dylan Gabriel. So a credit there at least. But again, to your point, the guy's had what 5 or 6 practices with Jerry Jeudy in general. So there's no chemistry there, and Jerry Judy's not a stud and hasn't played well this year. I don't know if you saw there was a clip of Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur getting into it on the sideline.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
Scroll down, Kenny. Come on,
what
follow with the show notes here.
I don't know if what play that was specifically, but he kind of got into his face a little bit, and an offensive lineman stood up and was like, "Hey, cool it, bro."
It was Pochik. Stood up, I believe.
So at the point that an offensive lineman stands up and intervenes, that tells me
you could read his lips. So I'll bring that up. Yeah, we'll talk about that specifically. It was they were both kind of hovered over the iPad, and Jerry Judy's yelling at him, and you can read his lips, and he says, "Just throw it." Just throw it.
Yeah.
And Shedeur is pointing to the iPad. He's like, look, there's a guy here. There's like, this is why I can't throw it. And he just keeps saying over and over again, just throw it. Just throw it. It's like, dude, that's not how you play football. And Shedeur knows that. Shedeur takes care of the ball. So, and to your point, like, what is that accomplishing? I mean, know your place. Like, I know this dude's a rookie quarterback that's just getting his feet under him, but you're the worst number one receiver in the NFL this year. Like, just go sit down and shut up.
Well, and I think to your point, right? I think that's what it was. I think Shedeur was saying, "Hey, here's the coverage. Here's why I didn't go there," which tells me then at the point that the offensive lineman got involved, that Jeudy was the one being shitty, and Shedeur was defending.
Well, because he didn't tell Shedeur to back up. He
defending
told Jeudy,
the game plan basically. And let's be honest here about the game plan. We know that Kevin Stefanski puts a premium on protecting the football. Yeah. So Shedeur has to be very, very careful. If he wants to continue to play, has to be very, very careful and very, very selective about the times that he does want to be aggressive and take a shot.
Well, he said at the end of the game in the press conference when they asked him about, does he agree with Kevin Stefanski's aggressiveness? And he's like, that's a rude question. I'm not answering that. Yeah. I don't want to get into it with my coach, and I want to keep playing. That's what he said. So that's his mentality right now is I want to continue to be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. So
yeah, they asked specifically about the 4th down there, whether he thought that was a good call. And it's like, no player in their right mind is going to answer that. And yeah, I mean, I think to your point, like, I think that is a part of the game plan. That is protect the football is a premium on that. And I think that he's taking his cues on shots probably from Tommy Rees and Stefanski during the game to say, hey, here's an opportunity where I think we might have a chance to take a shot. Get through your reads on this one. So I don't think that he's just going out there freewheeling right now. He's in his 2nd start. That's not a guy that's going out there just, when Joe Flacco was here 2 years ago, that was more the mindset. Joe Flacco was like, what are they gonna do? Fire me?
I think that's where Jerry Judy's missing it. He's like, Joe Flacco literally just threw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and let's not forget one more thing I want to bring up here, just because Stefanski is ass, and we haven't had enough fire Stefanski talk lately because Shedeur has kind of quieted everything down. Let's not forget that the overthrow, or the Jerry Jeudy stop running, however you want to look at it, I don't really care. On that play, there was 2 receivers within 3 yards of each other.
Yeah, scheme. You don't run receivers and routes next to each other. So there was either that was a busted play, or that is a part of a really poor scheme to have 2 wide receivers running side by side down the field.
It's been a consistent thing since Kevin Stefanski has been the coach of the Cleveland Browns. I can't tell you how many times during a game, every single game, I count and I'm like, why are there 2, sometimes 3 receivers within 5 yards of each other?
Yeah.
It's the worst spacing ever.
All that does is allow one person to cover 3.
Yeah,
There should
it's
never,
insane.
if you turn around and your teammate is next to you when you're running a route, something is wrong. That's
And they
not
wonder
good.
why our quarterbacks are continually turning the ball over. Like,
Yeah. We
come on.
create traffic to throw into. Yeah.
Yeah, why would you not? Um,
I don't know. But
yeah,
all that said, too, let's also keep in mind that like San Francisco's a good football team. They're banged up on defense. I'll give them that. But they're a good
yeah,
football team. They've got 8 or 9 wins. So again, all things considered, weather, statistically, Shedeur played about as well as he could play today.
yeah.
And I think the pacing of the game, the special teams turnovers, like those things took any opportunity for him to really try and mount any kind of significant comeback away.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the game there, I mean, if our special teams weren't the assiest of asses, uh, he's in the game. It just looks completely different. If this comes down to the wire and it's the game finishes, even if we don't score any more points, but it's like 13-8. Like everyone's saying, he played pretty well because we were in the game the whole time. So
Yeah.
the fact that late they pulled, the with special teams and then the defense giving up a field goal or whatever it was late, they pulled away a little bit. Like it looks worse on the scoreboard than it does the actual game because remember it was 10-8 at halftime.
Right.
And I know there's no moral victories in football, like it doesn't matter, but when you're evaluating rookie quarterbacks objectively and seeing how they actually played, you have to take every single aspect of the game and what happened into account. So
Um, and I have two final things on this. One, thinking about evaluating your rookie quarterbacks, man, I was like, if we just had a dome.
yeah, all this shit about how it once again comes true is before the game. My mom actually stopped over my house. She goes, "How are the Browns going to do?" I was like, "We're going to lose." And I said, "I picked them to win, but we're going to lose." And I said, "I picked them to win specifically because I was like, well, uh, 49ers aren't good against the pass. Shedeur's going to get a chance to actually show what he can do here and rack up some passing yards and hopefully get some stuff done." And then, obviously there was 30-40 mile an hour wind. So I was like, well, that's out the window. So we don't have that going for us. We're going to lose. We're probably going to get killed. And I told her, I said, it's just another one of those times where, people like to talk about how great the football weather is and blah, 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 blah. At what point in time? And she even said it. She goes, "Oh, they're from California and they're not used to this weather." I was like, "It's not going to matter. I can literally count on one hand the times since 1999 that the weather has won us a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
I mean,
usually loses us the game."
and I guess that was my point, was for evaluating a rookie quarterback or evaluating and running your offense in general, the weather is not helpful. I
No.
am a traditionalist. I love the weather games. I love when there's a foot of snow on the ground. I think it's fun and visually appealing. But you also won't catch me in the stadium on those days, which I thought was very apparent today as the
Today,
middle and
yep.
upper bowls were about empty. So again, to your point, all this talk about the Muni lot and winter football, and
I
I mean,
saw on social real
even with
quick.
the
Sorry,
excitement of
The Muni
Shedeur.
lot, the Muni lot. I saw on social media a bunch of footage of it was just that very front lot of all the the diehard Muni lotters that are there at every single game for the past 25 years. Outside of that, nobody. So don't again miss us with the whole we got 30 whatever tailgates left. Like
Yeah.
you don't give a shit. It doesn't
Even with
matter.
the excitement of Shedeur, because
Yeah.
whether you like Shedeur or hate Shedeur, there is a strong contingent of people that really love Shedeur. And with a thought was, at least the conventional wisdom was that there would be people coming to see Shedeur, and you could still get tickets for $6 and $8 today.
Yep.
So,
And
um,
the opposite of that is there's a strong contingency of people that want to see this young man fail.
yeah,
And
that
so
too.
they're also paying for tickets just so they can get a firsthand look at how quote unquote bad he is. So
Yeah. And my final thought just on the Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel conversation, there was no better illustration of of the difference between these two guys than the fact that Dylan Gabriel did get to come in for one play. And if you look at the box score, like I'm not evaluating Dylan Gabriel on one play, but if you look at the box score, Dylan Gabriel is 1 for 1 for 0 yards.
Yeah.
It was just like the
He
perfect
came in and throw the
encapsulation.
typical Dylan Gabriel throw.
It was the perfect encapsulation of everything Dylan Gabriel brings to the table. I can come in, I can complete a pass. It's not going to be for any positive yards. It's not going to do anything for you. Again, it's not fair to say Dylan Gabriel sucks because of one play. It was funny to me.
You know what I thought was
Looking
real
at the box
apparent?
score that was there.
You know what I thought it illustrated well was when he came in and he's looking up at all his linemen, and he hadn't seen that the whole game.
And it was awkward when Shedeur had to tell him to get off the field because he was trying to call a play.
Yeah, I love the just nonsense that is the Cleveland quarterback room. And by love it, I mean I hate it. That's enough for the offense here. Defense, solid once again. Jim Schwartz for head coach. Fire Stefanski. Fire Stefanski. Hashtag Jim Schwartz for head coach. Myles Garrett are both our guys that are up for awards that are the odds-on favorites for awards. Just kept doing their thing today. Myles Garrett had another sack. Not a huge game, given that he had 13 sacks over the last 4. So not a huge game, but he added another sack today. He's at 19 on the season. And then Carson Schwezinger continues to look like a bona fide all-pro in his rookie season. Like this dude doesn't just look like rookie, defensive rookie of the year. He looks like a legitimate all-pro linebacker. Like this dude's everywhere.
Yeah, the defense played really well, I thought, all things considered. The fact that they were working with a short field over and over and over again. I think if you look at just overall, you held San Francisco and Christian McCaffrey under 100 rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey is the NFL leader in all-purpose yards. And I think if you look at what did he do today? At 53 yards rushing and 21 yards receiving. So, he's their biggest weapon, and so I thought they did a good job bottling him up. A lot of gang tackling going on. I saw a lot of movement towards the ball. That was great. Tyson Campbell continues to be very aggressive and a sure tackler. He did get burned on a couple of third downs here and there, but those things happen. If you're a corner, people are going to complete passes. So none of those were backbreakers. All things considered, the defense played really well, I thought. And to your point, Swesh continues to look great. Myles adds another sack. So, that's a good football team that you played today. You gave up 26 points. It was bad weather. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to give one more shout out here, and it's to Ronnie Hickman. This is a dude that, correct me if I'm wrong, he was an undrafted free agent last year or the year before. And since he not only made the team his rookie year, he's progressed into just becoming a full-time starter. And dude has 8-9 tackles every game. He's also all over the place. And he delivered a couple punishing hits today that I was like, yeah, this guy, this was a steal. So,
yeah, look,
he's got a great name.
It's a terrible name. It's one of the most disappointing and frustrating things about this whole season is I think we can all agree the offense looks better with Shedeur. So the fact that he didn't play all year long is a travesty in and of itself. But the fact that this defense can absolutely play with any team in the NFL, and you're going to win 3 or 4 games this year. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Injuries, just to wrap things up here for the game itself. Injuries, Malik Collins carted off the field.
Quad injury,
unfortunate there. During the injury timeout, Juwan Jennings was talking shit to the Browns players. And after the game, Shelby Harris and Myles Garrett both called him out. Myles Garrett was a little bit more mild. He kind of just said, he was saying he had some disparaging remarks. And if he can't say anything nice, he should just not say anything at all.
Yeah.
Shelby Harris was a little bit more direct and to the point. He said, and I quote, "He's a hoe." And I think everybody should know that. And then he also went on to say he's not surprised he got punched in the nuts last week, and he's surprised that no one has punched him in the jaw yet. So
I'm pretty sure. I think as a professional football player,
this was one of the best interviews I ever saw, post-game interviews.
As a professional football player, you have a lot of resources, right? I'm sure at some point all of these guys go through some kind of media accessibility training, some kind of proactive, like, here's how you handle
he just went
tough
full
questions. I don't think that was in any of the manuals. He said he's a hoe. He deserved to get punched in the nuts. I can't wait till somebody punches him in the face.
Yeah. It was one of the most just unhinged interviews I've ever seen.
I
was
love
just
it.
watching it now. Oh yeah, I thought it was fantastic. But I was like, no way.
He's a hoe.
He must have said something really bad. But yeah, so that all happened. Hopefully Malik Collins. I mean, it's never good when you get carted off the field. Hopefully it's not the full season, but at this point,
Yeah.
get your rest, come back next season.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to lose a guy, especially on that defensive front. That's been the strength of this team all year long. So, hopefully he gets some treatment and gets healed up soon.
Yeah. And that'll take us to silver lining here. Let's try and find one. Burning River Sportscast Dog of the Week nominees. Unless you had anything else for the game, Kenny, you're looking confused.
That's just my face.
That sounds about right. We're going to start with you because I know Bone sent in his number one pick for Dog of the Week this week. I know what it was, but I'm going to give it to you to give you your opportunity first. Who's your Dog of the Week? He gave me three, so I have options for Bone.
I think someone will nominate Miles, and he'll probably win because he's just one sack closer to the record. But I'll go Shedeur. He was my player to watch this week. I thought he played exceptionally well, all things considered. So I'll go Shedeur this week.
All right. And then Bone, since you took Shedeur, because that was his number one as well. His next one was Judkins. So we'll go Quinshon Judkins for him.
Judkins had a nice game. I think that today might have been
averaged 4 yards a carry today. It
might have been his best game as a pro.
Yep. And that's even with them as the game went on and they realized that the weather was really a big factor. They started stacking the box a little bit more and kind of keying in on him, and he still had a pretty solid game. So,
well, it was no secret that we were going to run it. I mean, even on the Fannin touchdown, I mean, we ran it 9 times in a row before we threw it. So,
yeah. I'm torn because I really want to go Harold Fannin, but I'm actually going to go Myles Garrett, just because he is one sack closer to the record, and it's been my kind of the record watch all year because that was my bold prediction. I'll keep saying that because I looked like an idiot when I said he was going to have 30 sacks this season, and I don't look so stupid anymore. So,
he's pacing 25 to 30. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going Myles Garrett. I will do this just for the live show. I won't put him out there for voting tomorrow, but honorable mention of Harold Fannin Jr. He had a touchdown today, and it was a man's touchdown when he just like shoved through the the last guy at the end zone there. The fumble that was lost, not your fault. You shouldn't be under center. And then another honorable mention I'm going to throw out there. I might actually have two. Carson Schwezinger, another 10 tackles. You already talked about him. But that wasn't it. Dylan Sampson. Every time he touched the ball today, I know he didn't have a ton of stats, but every time Dylan Sampson touched the ball today, I was like, why the hell does he not get the ball more often? Because this guy makes things happen every time he gets the ball.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, he had a nice day on a couple of touches that he had. I can think of at least 3 times that we threw the ball to Jerome Ford, who I just don't need to see in a Browns jersey anymore.
Yeah, he needs cut tomorrow. We don't need anything for him. Just cut him. I'm done with him.
Those should just be Dylan Sampson touches, period.
Yeah. Yeah. Dylan Sampson didn't have any catches. And Jerome Ford got 3. So yes, they should all just be to Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
You're learning, hippie picks. You're learning. You don't. You got to listen if you want to know. And so with that though, Kenny, the nominees that I'll post tomorrow that you guys can all vote on: Shedeur Sanders, Myles Garrett, and Quinshon Judkins. Final thoughts, Kenny?
My final thought is this: Thanksgiving is over. We're headed into the Christmas and holiday season here. Full swing, which means a lot of people are getting their holiday shopping in, and it's tough, right? If you work a full-time job, 2 full-time jobs like we do here at the podcast, sometimes it's difficult to get out to those stores. So you do a lot of online shopping and maybe even DoorDash some things.
Are you giving a plug right now?
Nice. And I'm just hoping that maybe my next DoorDash order comes from premium dasher Bubba Ventrone himself. I think that'd be a good place for him to land, feet on the ground. I think that's the perfect next step in his career trajectory. DoorDash driver.
If not, he could be my Uber driver.
One or the other. Ride share is the way to go, Bubba, because you got no business being in the NFL.
He's terrible. I thought you were going to give a shop plug there, just a full shop plug. I was like, no way, you're just going to tell people to buy merch. That's your final thought.
Yeah, but buy merch at tapinmedia to /shop.com.
Yeah, you did it. That's not exactly it, but you're close.
Tapin Media.
www.thetapinmedia.com/shop.
Yeah, do that. Do that now.
Yeah, my final thought is, here we go. We got our final chance to win a game this coming week. The Browns are really bad. I have a lot more faith in them winning games with Shedeur Sanders under center. But it all kind of gets just negated by the fact that you got Kevin Stefanski as your head coach. And as long as this dude is a head coach, our chances to win are like 12% each week. So they're a little bit higher this week because we're playing Tennessee, and they are really, really bad. It will be fun to watch Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward. It'll be, since up until the draft, inexplicably, I don't know what the word is. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Inexplicably. That's the one. You got it. They were supposed to be like right after each other in the draft, and then we got Shedeur in the 5th round. So
yeah, on that.
My final thought is it's our last chance to win a game, so they better capitalize.
Yeah, on that note, that's actually interesting you brought that up because, I love to do Tighten Up Radio. I don't watch a lot of Tennessee football, but I've seen a little bit here and there this year. And Nashville's kind of a second home away from home. Cam Ward is
not for any reason other than he loves Nashville.
I love Nashville. Like, it's a great place.
It's not because like he has family there. It's just because he loves Nashville.
Great food, great nightlife, just a swell place to be.
Yeah.
If I could live anywhere but Northeast Ohio, it would be Nashville.
Shout out to Edley's Barbecue. I've been craving you lately.
Yeah, we should get down there for that. Cam Ward is taking a lot of strays right now. Look,
he's throwing a lot of strays too.
I'm excited to see the matchup because I think it's somewhat of a litmus test here to see him versus Shedeur, see where both guys kind of are. The difference is Cam Ward's been doing it all year long and Shedeur has only had a couple of weeks to prepare. But I do think that Cam Ward is also catching a lot of unfair criticism right now. And I don't know whether Cam Ward is going to be a long-term quarterback where he's a franchise guy for 8 to 12 years. What I do know is Tennessee as an organization and as a football team is really bad right now. There's not a lot of talent out there. The coach got fired this year. Like, they're a disaster. So to me, it seems a little unfair to judge Cam Ward on that. And I know you might say, well, Kenny Thunder, you were writing Dylan Gabriel off after 5 weeks. Big difference, right? Cam Ward was highly touted.
Looks like he has no business on a football field.
Yeah, highly acclaimed out of college, was projected to be the 1st or 2nd pick in the NFL draft. Dylan Gabriel was projected to be a mid to late rounder project backup kind of guy. And what we saw over 5 weeks was exactly that. Cam Ward has a different skill set. And I think it's in the right situation. Like we've written off so many of these young quarterbacks that are good players that we've kind of seen now have this second career resurgence here, whether it's Baker, Geno in Seattle, Sam Darnold now, Daniel Jones had a good season in Indianapolis for most of this year. And Cam Ward is a different skill set than really most of those guys. So I do think he's catching a lot of unfair criticism right now. And I'm excited to see Shedeur versus him. And my interest is peaked to kind of see his career over the next year or two. And if Tennessee puts pieces around him to be better. But I do think a lot of the criticism right now is very similar to what Shedeur is getting. I think it's just people just don't like him for whatever reason. And it's different because you don't have the Deion Sanders thing. But I do think a lot of the criticism coming his way right now is a little unfounded.
It's probably because he quit on his team in the bowl game last year.
Potato.
People don't forget.
That was Tighten Up Radio.
Thanks. I think I don't save it
Your
for
week-
this.
your weekly
save it,
Nashville
Save it for our
update.
show on Thursday. I don't know what you're doing. He's gone rogue. It's that going rogue stuff. Real quick, before we close things out, Kenny, just shout out to Bernie. I saw he was. I wore the Cardiac Kids shirt in honor of Bernie. I saw he was back in the hospital today. So, it's unfortunate, terrible situation. Just we're all praying that Bernie comes out okay. So,
I got my Scarlet on from the game.
Yeah, good choice. Good. OH.
IO.
Yeah, good choice. It's been 365 days since that team up north beat Ohio State. So
yeah, feels better.
And with that, let me remind everybody to call and leave their hot takes on the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline.
Hot Take Hotline.
Everybody call. Leave those hot takes on our Hot Take Hotline. 330-227-8081.
330-227-8081.
330-227-8081.
Call us now.
I'm talking to you, Jamie. I'm talking to you, Hippie. I'm talking to you, David. I'm talking to you, Adam. I'm talking to you, Brownsbackers, North Jersey. Menachem, whoever else is listening here. There's quite a few, but I'm talking to all of you. I know it's fun to comment on the show. Actually leave your hot take on the Hot Take Hotline because we like to talk about them on air. It gets pretty wiggity in that segment.
We want to hear from you, and if you don't do it, we'll kick you in
the jimmies.
Right in the jimmies.
Right in the jimmies. And be sure to check out our gear, www.thetappingmedia.com/shop. That'll do it for us. Kenny, what can we expect next week? Or this week?
We'll have our normal show out on Thursday. We'll be previewing the Week 14 matchup against the Titans. The Browns backers interview be somewhere in the Midwest here, south, somewhere near Nashville, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll find
and of course, all the other things you listen to the Burning River Sportscast for, like the same takes over and over and over and over and over and over again. And hashtag Fire Stefanski, hashtag Explore Shedeur,
hashtag Fire Ventrone,
hashtag Fire Bubba.
Fire Bubba. Yeah. And don't forget to check us out on social media. Tapping Media is on Facebook, X, and Instagram at The Tapping Media. I'm Burning River Sportscast. That's this podcast is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Burning River Sportscast, and on X as well to handle at Burning River Pod.
Jamie, you call right now. Call the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline right now.
Call it right now. It's an answering machine. You just leave it, and we talk about it on our next show.
Yeah, call that.
You could whatever your hot takes are, we want them. You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're talking to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Podcast, Castro, Good Pods. We're your number one ranked football podcast, and so many more. And please, please, please leave us those reviews on your podcast app of choice. Again, it really helps us grow. It helps us get seen. It helps everybody else join the conversation with us. So, make sure you leave those reviews. Kenny, I think we're done.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Hippie. You tell him. You call him. Hippie, if you don't call, I'm going to be really mad.
I'm gonna put this one back up one more time because it's a good sign off to end the show. F Michigan.
Yes. That team up north, they're probably part of the problem.
Don't just be a part of the problem. Be the whole damn problem.
They're probably the whole damn problem.
They are.
And only you can prevent river fires.
Burning River Sportscast. Burning Rivers.
Good night, Cleveland.
Good night, Cleveland.
Good night, Akron.